Abacha 2 million man march?
No, but these chaps are not in government per se, so they don't have
access to
state funds.
I am telling you
How do they do that?
To bring people out is the easiest thing anybody can do.
Even private citizens?
Why not? But who are the caliber of people in the crowd? In Lagos, you can bring 2 million people. The people they are contractors. The people that are paid to be there.
You know, the problem is semi-enormous until we try to decipher what truly is the cause of this. Yesterday, he also made allusion to the fact that the governor of Rivers State, from the same region as Mr. President,
yes,
has not been in support of most of the, should I say, programs of the president. He also said that.
Now, I don't know the pedigree of Mr. Oka, where he has worked before, and he's certainly, but I work in Rivers State. I'm a council, I'm on ground, I head the government. Now, if federal government programs are clear, they're spelled out. The government has its own programs. There are areas of, overlap. Last week on the 30th, the NIPS Kuru was in Port Harcourt. They were in my council. And on that day, there was to be a demonstration by the chiefs and people of Okrit against NMPC. It was a legitimate demonstration because NMPC had dealt with the environment to the point that people die, there are ailments. But as a council, we felt that that demonstration coinciding with that visit may not be too good. Look at the entire scenario in Rivers State. The governor was informed. He invited the chief. He said, please, I will ask to stop the demonstration. You can imagine. NMPC is a federal establishment. But the governor said, no, please, why not adopt dialogue? It goes to indicate where a governor is responsible, is accountable, and is forward-looking. So there is no issue of the governor opposing the presidency's program.
But there's also that part where he talks about that the governor was witch-hunting perceived political opponents. He's revoked the certificates of occupancy of, I can't remember the hotel now, I think 2 others, because they went to court on the matter.
I heard him. If a man came here and said he's a member of PDP, whereas I know that he's in ACN, I can't take him serious.
Are those allegations not true?
I don't have the facts before me.
Have you heard about it?
No, of course I had it. I read the papers. That there's a process for revocation of CFO. In Abuja, you're aware. A lot of Mrs. Yerado was revoked. You're aware. And she went to court. And the court said you cannot revoke. If the government revokes somebody's CFO, the person will go to court. The court is there to pronounce on that revocation. But there's a procedure. There's a cause for revocation. It doesn't just come for the action. Now, going back to the issue of what are the main issues, it's very important. Now, you can see that they have a ready tool that they use to manipulate the system. Now, recall that there was primaries on March 17th. People went to court. You understand? And through the court, there was a judgment. After the judgment, the same day, you swore in a people who there were issues of doubt. And the judgment, the parties, as I said earlier, just was the chairman and the secretary. But they went on to swear in a whole new executive, which does not affect the judgment.
How should they have been, how should the swearing in have gone?
No, if 2 of us go to court and we have a judgment, you can't bring in the 2 of them. Because the judgment will be specific on who are the parties, who are the beneficiaries. Now, you go ahead to begin to dismantle party structures. It was at that point, all the chairmen said, look, we are perceiving a grave danger in real estate. I'll show you the publication. And then after, all the fears we expressed have been manifesting. 1, Obeto was sealed. 2, there was an attempt to dissolve the local government structures. Again, you went ahead to suspend members of assembly. Where do you derive those powers from?
So they can't do that even at the party executive level? Not as members
Look,
of the
The PDP constitution is very clear on how to suspend members of the party.
So as it is now, well, who's the chairman of the PDP in Rivers State?
No, the Abuja court says it's Felix Obua. That's what the court says.
And that's what you're going to stick with, right?
No, there's another court judgment which said that the tenure of GU Akis will subsist. He was talking that you can't choose between quarters. There are 2 quarters. the first in time take prominence over the latter one. Because the two courts are of coordinated jurisdictions. This is a state high court, it's Abuja Territory Federal High Court. They are equal in power and status.
They are equal in power and status. That's why we're asking. So which are you going with?
So, but unfortunately, if you had what the speaker also asked, that look at from his perception, how would the police have guided protesters from Obiakpo Local Government Council to invade the Rivers State House of Assembly on a day the assembly was due to sit? The speaker said that by these overt actions, he has lost confidence in the capacity of the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Imbo, to lead the police in Rivers State. I refer you to our extant laws. Public protest demonstration is governed by the Public Order Act, Cap 382. And in Section 1 it provides that if you want to go on demonstration, march, you will write to the governor of the state. The governor of the state is the one that will approve, and it must write within 48 hours to the demonstration.
For approval or for information purposes?
It's approval. They will give a license.
A license?
A license.
To protest?
That's what the law says. Now, ANPP went to court against the IG to contest that law. The court pronounced that, look, that the IG does not have any power to approve demonstration. Because the law is very clear, he's the governor of a state. Now, in this case, the governor of the state has given the power to the SSG. He was not aware.
Why is this happening in Obiakpo? How much of money?
No, it's not.
Because some will say Obiakpo looks like the cash cow in terms of local government in River State. That is why the whole rich is situated there.
Incidentally, well, I think Obiakpo is also the council where Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike comes from.
So it's just not like any other local government area. So
no,
you don't see too much of a coincidence there because, sorry, Suleiman, you've already talked about that's where the chairman, beg your pardon, the Minister for State for Education comes from, and a host of people are saying that it is his faction. Felix Obua comes from him, and that's why all of that controversy is around Obiakpo local government area. You don't see, is it just coincidence, or there's actually some witch hunting going on there?
You can see quite clearly that Obiakpo has become a seat of this controversy. And it is because there was a petition. I can't talk about the merit of the petition now, because the matter is already in court. It's sub judice. And
that's about the only place where petitions have been written.
Oh, other councils have had similar experiences.
And they have been, their chairmen were suspended, and their councillors too suspended.
Of course.
Which one of them?
I was suspended sometime.
You as chairman of Okrika local government was suspended. When was that?
It should be about last year. On issues, and we came back, we sat down, the matters were looked at. It was clear that
can you for
I was recalled.
How long were you suspended for?
For over 2 months. For 2 months. On the same law.
It's not about a suspension, because I still don't get the meat of this whole talk from Rivers. Is the governor of Rivers State in the bad books of the president?
Well, your question is apt, but I won't be able to give you an answer.
Do you smell some disagreement between both of them?
If you look at the events, you see, sometimes symptoms will show the nature of a disease.
Because the cry coming from your camp has always been witch hunting, people from Abuja trying to disrupt River State. And the question people have been asking is, who is trying to disrupt the activities in River State?
Now, I've mentioned that the speaker said that the Commissioner of Police in River State, that he has lost confidence in him. He said he told the whole world because of a chain of events. Specifically, the House of Assembly is a sacred place, all right? And that they were sitting that day. The police officers guiding them were withdrawn, and you allow protesters to march into the assembly to desecrate the holy chambers. I mean, the sacred chambers of the assembly. That can only be done.
The legislators also fight in there.
No,
don't they also desecrate when they fight and even break the base?
They do that. The question is, who authorized, who permitted, who gave approval for that march into the assembly? Even by labor law, workers can picket a firm.
So what's the way forward now?
No, I'm coming. Picket a firm. But you're not supposed to go and obstruct the business of the firm you're picketing. You heard of the issue of the detention of the aircraft of River State, the grounding, and then all the issues. It was first that they didn't file a flight plan. Later, it was an allegation that it was not owned by River State. But which agency is doing that? You understand? So you have a chain of events which shows that there is likelihood of a direct agenda to stifle, to put River State on that stage.
How do you suggest this be sorted out?
Well, one, the first attempt is that the party, which of course was led by GRT, has been removed by a court of law. It's an appeal in court of appeal. So that matter is in court. Well, that matter is resolved. It's a way forward. But like people have said, there is need for elders of River State, elders of the South Side to meet and ask, say, all this that is happening, how can we go forward? Because you need to note that our River State is very critical for Nigeria's economic development. It's a state where, before now, there were all sorts of cost activities, there was all sorts of disruption. Most companies are leaving River State to Lagos and other states. Now, this event in totality is bringing about, a total breakdown on activity, law and order. So the point is that we believe, and it's quite clear, that there is a deliberate effort to put a siege on River State and then create an impression that governance is no longer possible. And that all this is a direct infraction of the Constitution. Because the federal government, state government, even the local government derive our power from the Constitution.